Hey everyone, it's Zach with Z Squared Gaming. I have a new pickup video here for you. This is for the month of May 2025. I am filming this in August, so I am a little bit behind in my filming of my pickup videos here, but I am planning on getting all caught up. One of the reasons for that is I want to be able to sell the duplicates that I am getting from these pickups so that I can make some of my money back from all the purchasing that I've been doing, type of thing. So I'll just hop right into the games here. These are all the games that are going up for sale. So I'm going to just start right in with some Nintendo games, and not too many. Sim Animals Africa. A few Wii U games here. Can't recall where I picked these up. These might have actually either been at a garage sale or a thrift store. ESPN Sports Connection, Madden 13, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, and then FIFA Soccer 13. I do try to pick up Wii U games as soon as anytime I see them, as you know, that is not a very popular system, so I try to pick these up, as I'm hoping that they'll probably eventually go up in price at some point, and then of course make even more money back, type of thing. But I have been selling a few Wii U. I actually brought a bunch to Midwest Gaming Classic, the convention in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and sold a few there, but then I have just kept them in my for sale boxes. I was actually hoarding them for a while, but just trying to make a little bit of my money back kind of sooner than later in regards to those. But I don't have anything crazy. I think I have a Wii U Party, if I remember correctly. That's probably the most expensive. I can't remember. I think it's like $60 or $80 or something like that. So hasn't quite sold yet, but I see a lot of people, pulling it out of my for sale bin and talking about it. I don't always hear what they're saying, but they're usually talking to their friends or whatever. So anyway, continuing on with Xbox here, I have a loose copy of the Haunted Mansion. Looks like a loose copy of Vex. It's actually a printed out cover art for Vex. And then Da Vinci Code, Call of Duty Finest Hour, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I have not read or seen any of the Harry Potter movies, so sorry if I mispronounced that. And then Galleon, I believe is how you pronounce this one. This is actually pretty funny because, like, I want to say that I picked this up at a thrift store, but just like a week or two previous to that, I had purchased the same game from, not the specific game itself, but this, a second copy from a friend at a swap. So you would have seen this, I think, in last month's pickup video. So I just thought it was kind of funny that, of course, I bought it from my friend and then found it myself out in the wild, a week or two after that. So some of these games were from garage sales, with it being May. That's kind of when the garage sale season was starting. So some of these were from garage sales. I believe that Galleon was from a garage sale. And then this one, I believe, was from a garage sale too, The Simpsons Road Rage. That's a Platinum Hits for the Xbox. And then getting into the 360 games, Minecraft. It's always a nice one to pick up. UFC 2009 Undisputed. Ace Combat Assault Horizon. I think this one might have a little bit of value, not anything crazy, but some of the Ace Combat games are actually pretty expensive, so it's nice to, of course, grab that. And then The Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings Enhanced Edition. And I'm kind of trying to tip these back a little bit because I do have my light on, and I noticed in some of my previous videos that it was kind of dark when I was showing it, so I'm going to try to tip it so that the light hits it. Hopefully it doesn't get a glare, but hopefully you'll be able to see the games a little bit better, type of thing. So, a few Xbox One games, Hasbro Family Fun Pack, 4 games in 1. Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Just Sing, Just Dance 2018. Looks like that's a sealed one. And then Madden 23. Alright, and then into the PlayStation. Actually, I'll get into not quite the games. This next thing here is actually a system. It is a first edition of the PlayStation 1, of course. It is in pretty rough shape. I'll have to try to clean it up. I can't remember if I've tested this one yet, but these are usually tanks. They usually don't break very easily. And it looks like it's just a lot of just dust as far as on the surface here. So I don't foresee there being any issues with that. Typically, when I come across PlayStations out in the wild, the hinge doesn't keep down, so that's usually an easy fix. I usually take things apart and clean them out, especially when it's like this. And I don't know if you can even see it on camera or not, but it is pretty dirty all on the top here. And a little bit inside. Looks like the lens is actually pretty good, but like I said, I'll usually test those out. And so I picked that up just by itself at a garage sale, no cords. I don't think it even had a controller. But this next one here is actually the same thing, but this has a sticker on it, which I've never seen. And it looks like it's for Final Fantasy. I believe it's 8. Actually, it looks like it says commemorating the PlayStation chapter of the Final Fantasy saga. So it is Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9. It actually says that around the top, around the outside of this here. And then you can see the different characters. Looks like this is from PlayStation Magazine. If I remember correctly, I think it said somewhere that you would be able to, through that magazine, you fill out like a form or something like that. I'm guessing you probably have to send a little bit of money as well. And then you send that in, and then you get this sticker that you can put on the PlayStation. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Like I said, I've never seen that before, but it is just a normal PlayStation system. I know for sure I did pick this one up at a garage sale, and there's actually going to be a few other items from that garage sale that are going into the collection, so you'll see those later, and I will of course kind of indicate that. And then the next bigger thing here is, I know this is for sure from a garage sale, it was one of the first bunch of garage sales that I went to, and it's a PlayStation 2 system, and it is a black slim PlayStation, and it looks like it came with 2 controllers, and then it did. So this was at a same garage sale as, again, some other games and another system that I'll talk about later when I'm going through the games that are going into the collection. So I'll of course mention that as well. So it was a different garage sale from the PlayStation 1 that I picked up. But this was actually a really good deal. I got this and a bunch of games. That was, I think, it was $30. So I'm making that money back with the system itself, of course. So all the games will be essentially for free. And so some of the games that I just went through, I'm sorry, no, I haven't got through PlayStation yet. So I will actually be going through that next. Now, including with that system, that PS2, was this binder. Now, there isn't a whole lot of craziness in this binder. We got Supercross 1998, Harry Potter, Lego Island 2, another Harry Potter, Toy Story 2, Pac-Man World, SimCity 2000, Pro Pinball Fantastic Journey, Snowcross 2, and then Rayman 2 The Great Escape. So those are all PS1 games. Of course, you can play PS1 games on PlayStation 2. And then there was also some PS2 games. So actually it looks like this, there might have been a couple still left here. Monopoly, that's a PlayStation 1. Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. And then here's into the PS2 games. Virtua Evolution, Virtual Fighter. Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup. Pride FC. Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2003, nothing crazy there. But here I'm getting into the better ones. I kind of left them for last. We have Dragon Ball Z Budokai. Next one here is Budokai 2. And then we have Tenkaichi. And then we have Spider-Man Web of Shadows. So that was stack of a good amount of games that came with that PS2 Slim. So like I said, essentially this is going to be for free. There was a few games that I did add to the collection out of this as well. Unfortunately, they are loose, but that is the case. So it is still pretty sweet. And the majority of these PlayStation 2 games that I'm going to be going through will be from that same bundle for the $30. So it was such a great steal. Cool thing was that when I was pulling up to that garage sale, I actually was out with my parents. As we were walking up to this garage sale, there was a guy putting out all this video game stuff, and he was a neighbor of the person that was hosting the garage sale. So I was like, perfect timing for me to walk up, and I said, you probably won't have to, display those. Depending on how much you're gonna want for them, I might just be able to, buy everything all at once type of thing. We came to an agreement, and I purchased everything, so everything just went into the car. So, getting back to the games here. We got Godfather the game. Godfather of the game. Now this is a greatest hits copy. First one was a black label. SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. X-Men Legends 2 Rise of Apocalypse. Love that cover art. Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Grand Theft Auto 3. Oddly enough, another copy of Grand Theft Auto 3. And then Jampec Demo Disc. And keep going here. MotoGP 3. 4x4 Evo. MLB The Show 10. Getting into the kind of the Snickle Fritz. Madden 11. All-Star Baseball 05. And that was all the games that came with that bundle with the PS2. So the rest of these PlayStation games are just other, from where I got other garage sales. Might have even been the same day because I did hit a ton of garage sales on this day with my parents. So for a PS3, we have Lego Batman, the video game. That's loose. Dark Souls. And then a couple of PS4 games. We have PlayStation VR Demo Disc, and then Days Gone, which I've heard from a friend that's actually a really good game, so I might have to get into that. They do, I believe, have the PS5 version, but I think if you use the PS4, you just automatically get the updated PS5 version, if I remember correctly. That's kind of it for the games that are going to be up for resale, but let me kind of move some stuff around to get ready for the next stuff to go through real quick here. Just bear with me. Alright, I'm going to start with kind of the bigger items. So there's a few kind of different items that are not actually games, but they are gaming. They're related to gaming, is what I meant to say. So first thing here was from Goodwill, and it's Evolve Hunter Shot Glass Set. It's actually pretty cool. Who knows how many of these were out there. So it's just something cool to add to the collection. I don't know much about the game of Evolve, but it looks actually pretty interesting. And so just kind of cool to be able to add that to the collection. Let me see here. Now in a bundle deal that I got the PlayStation with the sticker on it, I also got this, I believe it's Falcon amiibo, and it's loose. I typically will, of course, purchase the ones that I need, complete in box type of thing, but if I find them loose like this at garage sales or thrift stores and it's a good deal, I will pick this up. This was just included with the bundle. I essentially got it for free because of the deal that I got with the bundle type of thing. So I do have a shelf kind of off camera that I usually throw these open amiibo on. So we'll just be going over there. So, and then this next thing here, I believe, pick up from, oh no, I got this at a garage sale, and I can't remember, it was like 50 cents or $1 or something like that, and it's a PlayStation mug. As you can see, it's actually on both sides here, the PlayStation icons, the buttons, the triangle, square, X and O, so it's on either side. It's kind of interesting where it has a blue color on the inside and then the outside is gray. thought that was interesting and pretty cool. So I'll certainly be adding that to the collection. And then a couple of controllers that I picked up. Now this first one here is kind of a weird one because it is an Xbox controller, but it does have a sticker over the main color of the box. So if you look on the sides here, at least actually this side, it's a black controller, but then the sticker is this galaxy color. And as I'm showing you this side, I am seeing that on the back here it says premium controllers. So I'm guessing that there is a company out there, which I haven't looked into, that excuse me, takes controllers and puts like skins on them, or they replace the front. And as you will see, it's the same thing on the front on the actual controller. It's this galaxy type thing. So another interesting thing to add to the collection. I picked this one at a thrift store. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I did pay up a little bit for it because of it being from the thrift store, but I just thought it was really interesting and cool, so that's why I picked it up. All right, and then another controller here. I did pick this one up at a GameStop, and it is this gray PS5 controller. Now, I've mentioned in the past that I have picked up a PS5 that was used so that I could actually play it. So I'm going to be switching my main controller to this one. I absolutely love this color. I already have this color complete in box, or I should say brand new in box, but I wanted an open one. So I did pick it up at GameStop. I did pay up for it because it looks like it was going for like $71 plus tax. So that's not much off of the normal price at retail of $74.99 if I remember correctly, but I thought it was really cool. And like I said, I wanted to use this one to play my PS5 instead of the normal white one that it comes with type of thing. So I thought that was pretty awesome. All right, so as many of you have probably known if you've been watching my videos, I am focusing on the original Xbox. Now, the thing about focusing on that is that it's a very old system. Of course, there's plenty of games that are easy to find. One thing that isn't quite easy to find is a complete in box system. But finally, I am able to add a complete in box system to my collection. So this was at a garage sale. It was at the same one that I picked up the Slim PS5. So this was part of the kind of the setup that the neighbor was setting up at the host of the garage sale. So for games, I didn't get as many games, as many Xbox games as I did for the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 1. But I did get a few games with this as well. I think I've already even gone over them. Like I said, there wasn't very many. But I was mainly interested in this complete in-box system. So I don't know if you guys have been hearing, but my cat just actually came down and started meowing a little bit. So I don't know if that got picked up by the camera. It might have been. So I used to have 2 cats, and now I have 1. Now the one that's still remaining is meowing a little bit more than she used to. I think she kind of misses her sister. But so that's why she came down here and meowed. So you may hear it again, so I'll get back into the systems here. So this, I believe, is missing the cardboard or styrofoam inside the box, but it's still pretty sweet to pick up the actual box for the system. And yeah, it is missing either the styrofoam or cardboard, but it does have everything else. It has, I think, either 1 or 2 controllers in the box here. And boxes isn't in the like pristine condition, but it's in a decent system for how old it is. So thought that was really great to pick up finally for the collection. And oh, here we go. Here's my cat. Yeah, meow. So like I said, I used to have a second one that was kind of, so this one's mainly white. It does have some gray. The other one was mainly gray and had some white. So it was kind of sweet how they kind of offset each other. They were kind of a yin and yang. But yeah, she a little bit more vocal now. she's getting up there in age too, so maybe she's just getting old. So, can I get back to my games? All right, so let me kind of, actually don't need to rearrange very much, but I will just kind of grab some games here. And we'll just kind of go right into what's in front of me here. Okay, so my next set of games here that are mainly, well, you'll see them. Okay. So these next, this whole next stack of games that are in my hand is a stack of games that I got with the PlayStation that had the sticker on it. So that was from a garage sale. Now, unfortunately, some of these cases don't have games in them, and I wasn't too disappointed, but it's still pretty cool to get. First one here is actually a Japanese version of Project Diva F2 or F2nd. And so as you can see on the back, it does have like a bunch of Japanese. And like I said, this is a empty case, but still cool to get a PS Vita game, even though it's Japanese, at least a case for it. So this one I was a little bit more disappointed. It is Soul Sacrifice. This is actually a US copy, and again, doesn't have the game, but it is nice to have the case. Of course, more and more you find a loose game as far as Vitas go, because just like DS games or 3DS games, people will take them out of the cases, throw them in a carrying case along with the system, and then get rid of these cases. So it might be easier to find the game to go along with this empty case than vice versa type of thing. So still pretty cool to add. PS Vita is very hard to find, of course, as you guys probably know. And then the next couple here are 3DS games, and they are also empty, unfortunately. Now this first one is an expensive one, and it looks like it is a Japanese version as well. Now I don't know if this is a normal case color or not, or if this is just something. Actually, it looks pretty legit, so maybe it is. I'm not quite sure about Japanese DS or 3DS games, but it's Shin Gansei Tensei Final. I think it's is it Final Apocalypse? I want to say I have this. Oh boy. And I think it's Final, and it's 4 and then Final Apocalypse, if I remember correctly. Still pretty cool to grab, even though it's an empty case. And then another Japanese empty case is Dragon Quest, looks like 11. Now, I did actually get some games that had the games inside of the cases, and so this is, of course, nice to grab and add to the collection. Paper Mario Sticker Star. That's a US copy, the US version. And then a Nintendo Selects, the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D for the 3DS. And then it looks like another Japanese game here, and this, I believe, is a... Oh boy, let's see here. I think it is a... Doesn't say it, so that's why I think this is Bone something. Oh boy, I should know this, but I don't. It's not coming to mind. I'm looking at all my 3DS games on the other side of the camera, so I'm trying to figure out what this is. Yokai Watch. So it should be in Wise. Yep. Yokai Watch. I think it's 2 Bony Spirits. Or maybe, yeah, it's got to be 2 because there's a 2 in it. So, but this one is actually complete, which is cool. But again, it is Japanese, so of course that will be... I do have a very small section of Japanese import games. Japanese games that I have in my collection. So that, of course, will be going there. All right, so in that same garage sale pickup, I did pick up a GameCube. I don't have it with me. I think I've already Did I already sell it? I think I've already sold it. I have, are of course my own GameCube from growing up. So any, of course, ones that I get, I just sell to make my money back. But along with all these games, I did pick up for the first time Eternal Darkness for the GameCube. So, of course, this is a pretty decent, expensive game. So that was really nice to be able to grab that at a garage sale. And I don't recall what I picked up all those games for. So that was all, a lot of these were actually all from the same garage sale. That Eternal Darkness, all those empty cases of Vita, DS, or 3DS, and then a few games. The PS1, I must have, I think, picked up a couple of PS1 games, which I haven't gone through yet. Yes, I did pick up a couple of PS1 games that are going into the collection, which I just haven't gotten to yet. So, quite a good deal. I want to say I spent like either $60 or $70, which was just awesome because the GameCube, of course, is worth more than that. So, selling out the GameCube, I've already made my money back, and everything else is just for free. So, getting back to the games here, we have a Wii game, and that's Marble Saga Koro Rinpa? Koro Rinpa. Never heard of it. But I think this one does have a little bit of value. I cannot recall where I picked that one up. I think it might have actually been at a thrift store, so that was pretty sweet. Oddly enough, I did not have Just Dance 2017. That's going into the collection. And then I think I have this one, but in a different version. I think there's like an enhanced version or something like that. But I did not have Batman Arkham City Armored Edition. Or maybe this is the Armored, maybe this is the special edition. My other one is not the Armored Edition. I think that's what it is. So, able to, of course, add that. I'm getting semi-decently close for the Wii U collection. I know there aren't a ton of them, but it is just something that I'm kind of starting to pick up some, so it's kind of interesting. So, can't recall where I picked up those two Wii U games. I think one of them was at a swap, if I remember correctly. And then, so I think that was the Batman that I picked up at the swap, and then Just Dance might have actually been at the same swap, but it's of course not as expensive as the some of the other games, so it was an easy swap. So, all right, and I did pick up some Switch games. So first one here is No More Heroes 3, Lego Worlds, Lego The Incredibles, Goodbye World. That one I did pick up at a GameStop. Everybody One to Switch. Dragons Dawn of the New Riders. Cobra Kai. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. And then I did pick up actually 2 copies of Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports. And so I have one out of the case and then one in the special holders that I use for my sealed games. So this one will actually be going kind of in my spot where I have all my doubles of my sealed games. Those will eventually go for trade bait in the future. I just kept them with this because it was the same game. This one's being added to the collection. This one's being added to the trade bait. So that is it for Nintendo. I will get into, let's see, Xbox first here, since it's kind of right in front of me. Now, unfortunately, I did not add too many original Xbox games in this month of May to the collection, but I did at least add one here. It looks like it was the Platinum Hits version of Star Wars Starfighter Special Edition. Pretty sure I picked this one up at a swap as well. And so, this, of course, always nice to add games to the collection. Now, as of right now, of course, this was back in May for these pickups, but as of right now, I want to say that I am, if you keep the Platinum Hits in my, kind of in my app that I use to keep track of my games, if I keep this in, I'm at about 80% of the collection. If I take Platinum Hits out, I'm just over 90%. So I'm getting close and closer and closer to completing the original Xbox collection. Now, the thing about it is that a lot of the games that I still need are the expensive ones. I want to say I still need the 2 Otogi games. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I think I have one of them loose, but I think in my app I just have them as not having anything. And then I am also missing Futurama. That's an expensive one. There's a couple other expensive ones. The Outrun game, that's can't remember what Outrun it is because there's 2 Outrun games. But I have the least expensive one, but I'm still needing the most expensive one. I think it's Outrun, was it 2016 is the cheaper one, and then there's another, I think it's just Outrun is the more expensive one. Just can't remember off the top of my head apparently. And then I am also missing Auto Modelista. That's kind of up there, not as quite as expensive as the Outrun one, but there's I think 1 or 2 more that are kind of expensive that I don't have quite yet. But I will probably eventually have to do a trade to get those expensive ones. I am of course not buying anything off of eBay, so I won't certainly do that. But still picking them off a little bit at a time here. Of course, with adding the Platinum Hits, of course that's helping with getting that down as far as the collection of the Platinum Hits. And then I do have a few 360 games. Yaiba, Ninja Gaiden Z. Can't even recall where I picked that one up. Jeopardy, which is kind of, you'd think that would be an easier one to find. 360, I'm actually getting semi-decently most of the collection for 360 as well. I think I'm at like 64% if I remember correctly. That's actually including Platinum Hits. So getting kind of closer and closer with the 360 as well. So I'm certainly trying to figure out what I'm going to work on after original Xbox. I might just move right into the 360 since I've already at 64%, I think. Another thing that I'm I have a lot of is the Wii, which might be another easy one to kind of easily get type of thing, just like the original Xbox. I might just pivot right into the Wii and then maybe back to 360, or kind of maybe work at the same time on both of them. But I'm, of course, getting closer and closer on the original Xbox. So, next one here for the 360 is Quake Wars Enemy Territory. And then I think these were, well, it is all 360 in here, and it's a steel case of Modern Warfare 2, which is Call of Duty, of course. And I think some of these steel cases are not specific to a console, but of course it does have everything inside here for the 360s. That's why I'm considering it 360. Alright, and then it looks like I do have one last loose 360 game here, and that's Vanquish. Did pick it up at a garage sale. Unfortunately, I am missing the case and possibly manual for that, since this is, of course, loose. So hopefully we'll be on the lookout for that. I'll likely find a complete copy and then sell that one off to get some of my money back. But it's not worth it very much anyway. So, all right, and then I do have a stack of Xbox One games here. First one here is Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 plus Arcade Game Classics. So got that there. Got a Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. Another Lego movie, Lego Avengers. Call of Duty Vanguard. I believe I already have this, but it's sealed, so any sealed game, if I don't have it open, of course I'm always on the lookout for that. Can't quite remember where I picked all these Xbox One games. The majority of them were probably from GameStop. I've mentioned this in the past that I tried to wait for them to have their sales, like 4 for $20, for $9.99 or under type of thing, or buy one get one free or something like that. So that's where I usually make a lot of my purchases with GameStop. So next one here is Rocket League. We got Sonic Colors. I believe, can't recall, I might have Rocket League sealed already. I know I for sure have Sonic Colors Ultimate sealed, but of course picking up the open copies so I can play them. And then Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. I want to say I think I have that one sealed as well. And then I did pick up a couple of sealed games. These were likely from like either a Walmart or clearance, Walmart or Target clearance. So the first one here is NBA 2K23. I do sometimes pick up sealed games at garage sales, but it's not very often that happens. So, all right, and then the next one here is a Black Ops 6, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 for the Xbox One, and that's a sealed one. Anytime you see games that are in the cases like this, they are likely sealed. I do also sometimes put the more expensive games in these case protectors as well, just to kind of protect the game itself. Anything, I think usually $50 or higher, I will do that. I don't know if you can actually see it, just to my left here, Hit and Run for the GameCube, I have in one of those protectors. So should actually kind of go through and do that again, because I think I have some like F-Zero should have a case protector. I have Twin Snakes in the case protector, so should probably go through and kind of update those again, type of thing. So, all right, I will move into the PlayStation next here. So, kind of first off, it's kind of a sub collection type of thing. Not something I'm really looking for, like focusing on or anything like that, but I do find them from time to time. That's PSP game, and this is SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs Bravo Fire Team Bravo 2, and this one's complete. So fun to add PSP games to the collection when I can. All right, so finally getting back to PlayStation here. So now this, a few of these are coming from the two garage sales that I've been mentioning, throughout this video type of thing. So, so this first one, first kind of stack of loose games, a majority of them, actually all of them, were from the one earlier, the one where I got the Xbox and the Slim PS2. So there's, I think, a couple, maybe, looks like just one PS1 game and then a bunch of PS2 games. Now these are all loose. I don't have cases for them, unfortunately. First one here is actually a pretty decently priced game, and that's Marvel Superheroes. And then I did pick up Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. I think this one might be a little bit expensive, not crazy, but kind of getting up there. And that's Spider-Man Friend or Foe. Looks like that is a Greatest Hits edition with the red label. And then I did pick up a Sega Genesis Collection, black label. I think that one actually came with Greatest Hits as well. And then a couple of decent games here, especially the last one. But next one here is Dragon Ball Z Sagas. And that's, I think that one also came in Greatest Hits, but this one's a black label. And then the nice one, unfortunately it is loose. I wish it had the case and manual, but I should have looked up these, but no, I think it's a different one. Anyway, it's Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3, and that's the Greatest Hits edition. But like I said, it would have been nice to have that with the full case and manual, but I can't complain because it's still a pretty decent game, and a pretty decently expensive game, and nice to add to collection even though it's loose. So, alright, so getting back to the other garage sale that I've been mentioning quite a bit with the Eternal Darkness and the GameCube and the empty cases. So with the PS1 that has the sticker on it from Final Fantasy, this is from that same garage sale, I picked up the King of Fighters 99. So that's not crazy. I think some of the other King of Fighters games are kind of expensive, but I didn't have this one for the collection, so of course it's always nice to grab that. So it is in decent shape with a manual and everything, so pretty awesome to add that. And then I can't recall where I picked up these PS2 games. These might have actually been at the first garage sale with the system for the PS2 Slim. But first one here is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And this one I might be just missing the... no, I am missing the manual on this one. I'm pretty sure I have this already over in my system, so either it was maybe mislabeled incorrectly in my app, or maybe this is a variant or something like that. Anyway, getting on to the next games here. Scooby-Doo 100, Night of 100 Frights. That's the greatest hits version. And then a Snickle Fritz NHL 2K8. I know sometimes the sports games can get expensive if it's the last one on the system. Can't recall if that's the case with this one, but still, of course, needed it for the collection, so it's always nice to add. Alright, and then getting into PS3, got Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Skylanders Trap Team. Alright, and that's it for PS3, so getting right into the PS4, The Last Guardian. I've heard that this is a pretty good game. I have never played it, but I do actually want to play the Shadow of the Colossus first before this one, because if I remember correctly, this is kind of it's not an actual sequel, but it kind of follows the same thing. From what I understand, I could be completely wrong. Please mention down below in the comments if that's correct or not correct, so that I can certainly know if I need to play those games first. But I've seen, of course, some gameplay on this, and it looks amazing, and I'm sure it would be even better on a PS5 as long as it works. So I'll have to essentially get to that. Eventually get to that. Then the next game here is a sealed one, and I don't remember getting this one. This one must have been a clearance at a Target or a Walmart. Gravity Rush Remastered. You know what? Nope. That was not on clearance this was at a garage sale. I picked this one up at a garage sale. The guy that I bought this from, it was actually the same place where I picked up the mug that I mentioned earlier. The guy, I think, said that he either knew someone or used to work for PlayStation. So one thing about this Gravity Rush is if you look at the UPC, it's got a big hole in it. So you actually can't scan if you had like a scanner, you can't scan this UPC because of that hole. And so I don't know if that's going to be kind of worth a little bit more money or maybe less money because it's not technically a complete game because it's missing part of that UPC. But I picked this one up at a garage sale, $5 if I remember correctly. So I of course couldn't pass that up. And I think maybe even these next couple of games were from that same garage sale. And the first one here is Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. And then Call of, oh boy, Chulo? I can't quite pronounce that, so I'm sure I butchered it. So let me know down in the comments how to pronounce that. So, all right, then a few more PS4 games here. I'm guessing that some of these were probably from GameStop. Got Wolfenstein: The Old Blood, The Walking Dead Onslaught Deluxe Edition, Lego DC Supervillains, Ice Age Scrat's Nutty Adventure. I'm guessing that's just the little squirrel looking for its, going after, it looks like a nut that has a jewel or a rupee or something like inside of it, so kind of looks like a fun one there. And then F1 2018. I know some of these F1 games can get up there in price. I'm pretty sure this is not one of them. And then the last one here is Elite Dangerous. I do remember that I picked that one at a GameStop. All right, and then all the rest is PS5 here. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I did pick up a PS5 that was in an open box version. So I do already have I think 3 or 4 PS5s that are still sealed. So that's me being the collector that I am. So those are staying sealed. And then I finally broke down and bought actually a PS5 at a pawn shop. And so I have been kind of buying more and more PS5 games because of that. I am, of course, looking for cheaper games or used games at GameStop and, using their sales and kind of building up my PS5 collection. So I have quite a few of them. And, of course, they're still coming out, so there's going to be some sealed ones in here. And of course, there's some on clearance at Target or Walmart or even on sale. So I will, of course, pick them up there. So I'll just get right into it. Suicide Squad, Dying Light 2, Stay Human, Monopoly, Just Dance 2017. If I remember correctly, that was the same US Wii U version that I picked up. All right, and then it looks like a sealed copy of F1 24. And then it looks like actually two sealed copies. I just, just like I did with the previous Switch game, I purchased 2 copies. One will go in my pile for future trade bait, and then this one will go into my collection. It's got the protector case just like previously. So, and that is Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And then the last few of them here, looks like I do have 2 more sealed ones that will be going in the trade bait pile, and that's Dragon Age the Veilguard. Oh, and I am putting, I think, some of these in the wrong spot. Yep. I'm putting these games in the wrong spots, and so I will put them in the right spot. Alright, the next one here is Shim, which it looks like a very interesting game. I might have to try that one out pretty soon here. The art style is very interesting, so looks very old-fashioned art style. Very simple, but different. Unique 3D platforming through shadows. So, Shim is a game about jumping from shadow to shadow while interacting with a relaxing and lively environment. Like I said, very interesting looking. Might be a quick completion of the game. Unlike this next one, which is Solstice. So, can't recall where I picked this one up. Deluxe edition, by the way. I want to say this was a GameStop one. Pretty sure that this next one was a GameStop Spirit of the North Enhanced Edition. And then the last one here, which, boy, I want to say this one was GameStop too, which I was kind of surprised. But it's White Day, a labyrinth named School. That one looks like a horror game, but I'm not typically into horror games, but certainly interesting looking cover art there. So. Alright, that is it for the pickup video for May. Thank you guys for watching. I know this is probably a pretty long one again here. I know I actually just put up a video that was like 57 minutes long and I haven't gotten a whole ton of views. Hopefully this one was a little bit quicker. I did have a couple of rants of not showing you what I was picking up and talked about some of the games and some such like that. But hopefully this wasn't too long. Hopefully you stick to the end. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I have gotten a few more subscribers, but then I've also lost 1 or 2 of them. I have been kind of lagging in putting up my videos, and like I mentioned at the very beginning, I've also kind of been lagging on filming them as well. So I'm trying to get better at both of that. I did actually just download a new editing software. I was using a very generic editing software that was on my Mac, which was, I think, iMovie, if I remember correctly. And I did just download Final Cut Pro. So hopefully I'll be getting more of my videos up and kind of getting my collection, or my viewers and subscribers a little bit going here. Try to get my my channel going a little bit more type of thing. So just also let you know, I have picked up, I think I've mentioned this previously, but this might be for new viewers and such. I have picked up a GoPro. I'm going to try to get out and use that as I'm hunting for games. I have actually already done that at a local thrift store, so hopefully that will be coming up at some point here. That video, of course, I'll put it together. I did try to be kind of stealthy in my using the GoPro itself in my recording, so it might be kind of a weird video. I might likely actually probably do a voiceover because they, I think, had some music going, so of course I'll have to take that out and just do a voiceover and talk about the video itself and what I was looking at and prices. They had some stuff that was very expensive, some stuff that was very cheap. I picked up an item that I had no clue what the value was, and it ended up actually being a very good item to pick up, to flip, and wasn't actually a video game, it was a Blu-ray, but I'll talk about that when I get to that video and put it together, and then of course likely do that voiceover. So thank you guys for watching, and just like I've said in all my other videos, God bless.